Okay, so this image is based off a scene in Resident Evil 2 OG where Leon and Ada find respite in the save room. This is after the fight with G or William Birkin in the train, and he injures Ada, and she, you know, coincidentally becomes unconscious, so you have to fight him by yourself as Leon. It's not a really hard fight, but I just found it really poignant where, Leon is all about trying to help Ada, and he is, trying to be the man of the situation. But prior to that, it was her who had helped him. So I find it kind of interesting how the tables have turned. But later on in the game, you realize that spoiler here that she, you return to the room and she's gone doing her little spy thing. She's not really a good person, to be honest, and I don't understand. Well, she's a good person, but she does bad things, like she's a spy. But anyway, well, I guess that's her character, right? I guess she follows Chinese traditionalism and Chinese philosophy, right? Taoism and yin and yang kind of philosophy. Words are just provisional kind of thing. I get it. All right, fine, whatever. But look, um, so I use Procreate to make this image, and to be quite honest, I'm very dissatisfied both with my product and also with the program itself. I feel like Procreate is it's all right. I mean, I don't necessarily enjoy painting in bit um, bitmaps because they limit the size of the exports, and they're not really great for size changing. So I don't I see them as like kind of like a waste, and I have to like redraw them. So I really just use this app just to test it out, and it's okay. It does its job. If I don't have access to Adobe Fresco, then I guess I'll use Procreate. But Fresco is free, so I've been using Fresco, and I only use this app because I had unsubscribed from the cloud, and then I come to realize that Fresco's free. So, um, yeah. So what I did this time with the image is I did a direct copy for the most part. So I tried emulating the exact color points and exactly how the characters looked, and I failed miserably. It looks so bad. I think if I were to do this painting again, I would definitely put my own like flair to it. I would definitely use reference models, 3D reference models, instead of just like eyeing it because it just doesn't look good. And then I would put my own like kind of like stylistic colors, right? Because I feel like those colors are not good. I just can't explain it. They just don't look good. And I think if I were to redo it, I think it will look a lot better. And I think I'm gonna do that. I really love Resident Evil 2. I think it's the best game in the series. And I'm talking about the original one, not the new one. And I say this because I've played this game so many times. Just I don't even have to get into all the music's good, all the story's good, all the gameplay is good, all the graphics are good, all the textures are good, all the um, the protagonist is good. It's an extremely long story where they interact with each other. It was ahead of its time. It's still ahead of its time, and I can get into all that stuff real deep, right? I get into how the game is just flows perfectly, and regardless of whatever people say, the best game is not the game that you say is the best game. It's the game that you play the most. So, and that what brings me to the argument that Resident Evil 5 is also a really good game because a lot of people play that game a lot, and it is a good game, and I've played that game a lot. Strangely enough, I know Resident Evil 5 is mediocre, but I still play that game. Like that's the game I will play with my friend to play Resident Evil. If it's going to be any other Resident Evil, it's not going to be Resident Evil 4. Even though Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece, I'm not going to play that game again. I'm not going to play Resident Evil 3. I'm not going to play new Resident Evil 2. I'm not gonna play Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8. None of that. None of those games call out to me to be played again, right? Because there's so many unnecessary barriers to just enjoying yourself. Resident Evil 2, none of that. None of that. It's a streamlined fun fest, and it's a movie. It's just as much as a movie as is a game, and it checks those inventory autistic boxes. If you really haven't played Resident Evil 2 OG, I strongly recommend you play it. Dismiss the graphics. Um, just play the game. You can play it. You can play this game for free too. You don't have to pay for it. Um, yeah. All right. So this is another Resident Evil image. And this time it's the same scene but from a different angle. And the other thing that I did was change up the art style just to play around with Procreate. This is essentially my first Procreate image. And again, I'm not really satisfied with the outcome. Even though it's a relatively simple piece where I'm only using one color for the most part on everything, or I'm being very, I don't know what the word is. I guess you could say stylistic about my choices. I tried to make it like blocky and simple, and I don't know, it just doesn't look good. Even though I was very particular with the colors, it still didn't come out to my liking. I suppose it could make a really nice poster, if you really wanted to. Like it could be something like minimalistic if you're into that stuff. But personally speaking, it's not my thing. I'm gonna have to try another version of this scene when it's gonna actually make me happy, because this one did not do that, and the other one didn't also. Yeah, so again, this scene just depicts Leon taking care of Ada, and it's a very profound scene. It's almost at the end of the game, and you kind of feel bad for her because she's like got injured, and she's supposedly looking for her her boyfriend, which she's absolutely not. She's looking for the G virus, right? Um, yeah. Uh, I really struggled with this one. I didn't even like really put any really strong shadows or light source in this one. I just kind of played around with the program, see what it could do, and really can't do too much, to be honest. It ain't my thing. You know what I'm saying? This program ain't it. And definitely reference, because those images that I choose with Leon and Ada, they're too simple